It's an interesting question. Yeah, I played, and my injury, the 7 years, prevented me from playing. A lot of my close friends went on to play high-level rugby and do things that I couldn't do. I then did my physiotherapy schooling, after which I was fortunate enough to be involved with a couple of the local rugby guys that then just sucked me in and took me along to an international rugby level where I started doing international rugby physio. Through that I started to see there was a greater need, just not in rugby but in rugby injuries and bigger things than a strained ankle or a strained calf muscle. And hence the marrying of me and the Chris Burger Petro Jackson Fund. I started my relationship with the Chris Burger Fund when I ran across the Himalayas to Everest to raise money and awareness for the foundation. A year later, I was privileged enough to take some time away from treating patients and cross Africa on my own on a motorbike. I rode from Cape Town all the way to Cairo, and I climbed Africa's highest peak in Kilimanjaro. I dived with whale sharks. I cut worms out of my abdomen. I was thrown in jail in Sudan. I was shot at. I had the fortune of building toilets. I had the fortune of teaching in schools and working in hospitals with patients all the way along through Africa. I even got to start 2 roadside clinics along the way. And in doing so, I promoted the idea of rugby and safety in rugby. And when people heard about this, and one particular group was the Blue Label Telecons, Gavin Verigis and Al Jones and Craig Driver, and they donated 100,000 Rand immediately to the fund once they heard that I was crossing the continent solo. And it was inspirational for me to know that people were keen to be involved with the plight of others financially, and that money has helped so many of the recipients so far. It's one of the real inspirational stories of the fund. It's all about getting in touch with the families and all of the recipients of the Chris Burger Petro Jackson Fund. So Rise Rugby is about the physiotherapists of this practice visiting every single member and recipient of the fund in their homes, whether it's rural or urban, no matter how far away in the country, and highlighting their problem areas of paralysis and educating them and exercising them so that they can develop more independence in their lives. I've already received affirmative emails from some of the patients that have access to email, thanking me for the visits and the input that I've given in educating their families and also in educating them in the last 3 weeks where I did visits to the Cape. But because the project has just started, it's in its evolution, we're looking to really take it forward and obviously see the remainder of the country.